Okay, just between us, how to get rid of belly fat is something probably all of us have Googled at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Here's the truth. It's not about starving yourself or killing yourself at the gym. Yay! It's about knowing exactly how your body works now, because I don't have to tell you, it is different. So grab a chair, grab a notebook, and let's dive in. Hello, gorgeous girl. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Tracy. I'm 50 years old, and I have been a certified Pilates instructor, personal trainer, and holistic health coach now combined for over 25 years. So one thing that I can tell you is I have learned a lot over the years, not just from my education and training, but also from what I've personally experienced. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not always great. It's not always great, my friends, but this is not about bad news. It's really about learning how to work with your body now so that we feel our fittest, we feel our strongest, so that we are getting the results that we want without killing ourselves, because that's what we all want, right? First of all, if you want to keep your belly fat at bay, the best news you're gonna hear all day is you do not have to spend hours at the gym. But what we do need to start focusing on more is being a little bit neat. And neat just means non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And all that really means is all of the workouts that you do outside of your actual workouts, AKA we gotta move our I've talked about this many times on my videos before. Our metabolism actually doesn't slow down as much as we think it does, especially over the age of 40. But what can start slowing down is us. So we have to really make sure that we are getting in as many neat activities as possible. That means you're walking, you're puttering around the house, your housework, you're even pacing while you're on a phone call. All of that adds up. In fact, neat can account to 15 to 30% of your daily energy burn versus your workouts alone, which only account to 5 to 10%. And there is science to back this up, which states that when we are more active from a neat standpoint, it keeps our insulin sensitivity higher, which means that your belly fat will therefore be lower. So I have experienced this very much from a personal standpoint since having my child. My daughter is now 6 years old. And when I tell you, there are most days that I actually just never sit down. I am on my feet all the time. But the other day I was cleaning out a closet. My husband had some books in a closet that we have downstairs. And I was like, why aren't these books upstairs in your office? So I made probably 10 trips with like big heavy books in my hands. I was getting winded, I was sweating, and I was like, perfect. It's more neat to get in through the day. So look for opportunities. Park a little bit farther away. Like I said, pace on your phone calls. Do walk and talks with friends. Do whatever you can do to keep yourself moving, because that's going to keep that belly fat at bay. Now, by this point, we all know that we have to incorporate some strength and resistance training, but I want you to really reformat the reason why you're doing it. So now start to think of strength training for your hormones, not just for your muscles. So when our estrogen and our progesterone starts to decline, especially during perimenopause or menopause like me, that means that our visceral fat starts to increase. And that specifically is not great at all for our health, for our long-term health, and can cause a host of problems later on in life. But also that decline in the hormones means more muscle loss. Now, I've talked about this a lot on my channel. Unfortunately, the reality is that we do start losing muscle mass over the age of 40, but it doesn't mean that you just are like, well, that's it. That is not it at all. We just have to be really specific about how we're working out and even why we're working out. So strength and resistance training are really, really crucial because it raises your resting metabolism, which just means just from existing, you're going to be burning more calories. And also, I don't have to tell you how important bone density is at this stage of life, but we want to really keep that focus not on being a certain size, like we probably did when we were in our 20s, but it's really more about hormonal balance, longevity, health, sticking around for the people that you actually like in life. This is really key. So let's together have a little mindset shift. And guess what? The perk of that is your belly fat will decrease, which we love. This is exactly where the belly fat starts creeping in. Holy week, sorry. So here's the thing in menopause. Belly fat isn't just about what you eat or how much you work out. A huge part of it comes down to your energy levels and even those pesky midday cravings. And when your energy plummets, if you're anything like me, you find yourself standing in your pantry looking for a snack. So whether it's you want something salty or you're looking for some chocolate, or you just kind of open the fridge and you find yourself just gazing at the refrigerator, not sure what to eat, but you know you need something, that's exactly how the belly fat starts creeping in. So if you've been here for a while, you know that I have a favorite supplement in my stack that I literally will never stop talking about, and that is my MTE. I take it literally every single day without fail, even when I'm on vacation. So if you're new to MTE, it stands for more than energy, and that's literally exactly what it is. So what makes it different from all of those other supplements that are out there? Well, let me break it down for you. First, it uses paraxanthine, which is basically, in my opinion, it's like the best part of caffeine. It's not gonna make you jittery, it's not gonna make you shaky, and it's definitely not gonna make you crash. It gives me this sort of like laser-like focus that I absolutely love. And then there's their saffron extract. It's a clinically studied, standardized form of saffron that supports mood, emotional balance, and stress resilience. And if there's one thing that we need in menopause, I would say it's emotional balance. Wouldn't you agree? And it even has calming ingredients like L-theanine and magnesium, so you feel energized and also somehow calm. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just gonna make you feel better. I've been taking MTE religiously for over a year now. It is one thing that I will never live without. So if you're in menopause and you want to get off the roller coaster ride of energy, you don't want to feel jittery, you don't want to have any crashes, and side note, there's also fiber in it naturally, so you're going to be full longer. You're not going to have as many cravings. It's just literally, I can't even describe it, is the best thing ever. But one of my favorite parts about it is that it gives me energy and it supports my mood and even my sleep. And if you are looking to reduce your belly fat, especially in menopause, those things really matter. So if you want to get on the MTE train just like me, and honestly, you should, definitely check out the link below in the description box. And if you use my code Tracy Campoli, you will get 15% off. We all know that we need to work out, but at this stage of our lives, it's more about consistency rather than intensity. Raise your hand if in your 20s the only thing that you did was cardio and it somehow worked, right? Well, I don't have to tell you that that is not gonna be the case anymore. We've already talked about how we need to have strength and resistance training, but if you are constantly working out at a level 10, at a rate that just makes you feel exhausted after your workout, you are likely raising your cortisol levels, and that's not a good thing, especially if you're trying to reduce your belly fat. I know consistency isn't often thought of as being sexy, but here's the thing, you know what is sexy? Feeling good, looking good. So honestly, really start looking at your workout plan, especially if you feel like you kind of plateaued and it's just not working for you anymore. Start to really evaluate, am I only doing really high intensity workouts? Do I need to start mixing it up with some walking, maybe throwing in some Pilates in there, maybe just more of a straight up strength or resistance training workout? Those things, while they might seem small, those tiny little tweaks are what's going to make a huge difference in your body composition. And here's the best part about consistency. Even if you're just doing 10 or 20 minutes, but you're consistent with it, think of it like money in the bank. And that's when you really start to see the changes in your body composition, which we love. If there's one word that I probably talk about the most on my channel, it's protein. But I have to remind you, if you're trying to reduce your belly fat, you simply must prioritize protein. Why? Protein is the building blocks of your body. Whether you are plant-based, vegan, or you're a carnivore, it doesn't matter. You need to be eating protein. So here's one thing that's not really great. As you're in perimenopause and definitely in menopause, our digestive system starts changing and the protein that you're eating might not be completely absorbed into your body and be useful. I know, it's not really great news. And that's why it's super important that you actually increase the amount of protein that you're eating so that you don't have that muscle loss, so that you have more energy, and so that you're creating a stronger and leaner body, which in the end of the day, it's also going to give you more longevity. Now, I did a whole video all about protein and the importance of protein. You can definitely check that out after this. But, to make it really quick and easy, 30 grams of protein each meal. It's that simple, and it's actually not as hard as you think. So definitely check out that video because I break it all down for you. Now, we can't talk about protein without talking about her sister, which is fiber. Fiber helps to slow down glucose absorption, which basically means that you're not going to be on a roller coaster ride of sugar highs and crashes. It also helps to support your gut health and microbiome, which is really, really important because, like I said, our digestive system starts slowing down a bit when we're in perimenopause and menopause. We got to keep things moving. Now, I have gotten comments on this channel from some of you saying, I'm a carnivore, I don't eat any fiber. That screams to me problems, especially later in life. You need some dark leafy greens in your life, no matter what diet you are following. You know, at the end of the day, our parents were right. What did they eat? Real food. They ate, proteins. They ate fruits and vegetables. That's what we all need. So call it whatever you like, but you do need to have some fiber to keep things moving. But one of the easiest ways to do this is with chia seeds or flax seeds. Throw them into your smoothie. If you're making something baked, throw them in there. I even put flaxseed or flax meal into meatballs when I'm cooking for my family. They don't know, but I'm giving them more fiber in their diet and me. That's gonna make your digestive system function optimally, but also it's gonna keep you full longer, so we love that. We already talked a little bit about cortisol, but I have to stress it again. If you're trying to reduce your belly fat, you also simply must reduce your stress. So for me, I know that the best way for me to just feel better and feel like the best version of myself is to get outside. Take a walk, get some fresh air, be in nature. My morning walks with my weighted vest are truly therapy for me. I'm just enjoying myself. I feel like I'm centering myself, and it's truly, truly a game changer. But another thing that you want to watch out for if you're trying to reduce your belly fat and you're trying to reduce your cortisol is your caffeine consumption. Now, you will not be able to pull my daily matcha out of my cold, dead hand because I absolutely love it. But that's actually a better form of caffeine rather than having 3 iced coffees. Think about it. How many times have you been on vacation and you're super duper relaxed and somehow you're eating everything, but yet your pants are looser in the waist, right? I've definitely experienced that myself, and that is definitely the cortisol and belly fat connection. So you want less belly fat? You gotta have less stress. All right, this one I know you're not gonna like, and I am gonna do a whole video about this because a lot of you have asked about what am I doing, but there is a huge connection with alcohol and your belly, especially at this age and stage of our lives. If you're drinking alcohol of any kind, you are gonna have poorer sleep, your digestive system is going to be affected, your cognition is going to be affected, and it's just not a good thing. We all know that, right? So I encourage all of you to at least start limiting it. I have been on this sort of 1 to maybe 2 drinks a week, and I have to tell you, I feel so good because I'm also not being extreme about it. I'm not saying no, I'll never drink again, but I am you know what? If it's a celebration or a special occasion, sure, I'll have something if I feel like it. But honestly, most of the time, I don't even want it. This is a key one that I don't hear people talking about enough, and that is having a long game mindset. So many women struggle unnecessarily because you want to get results in 2 days. And that's just not how it works. And I get it. I'm probably the most impatient person you will ever meet. But I have to tell you, when we're talking about fitness and wellness and your lifestyle changes, it's not about every one meal, but it's about that long game. I talk about this a lot. It's about what is that overview of the choices and the habits that you're making over the long term. Look, we all want to get results overnight, right? But that's just not how it works. Side note, even if you are on a GLP-1 medication or any of those medications that are out here right now, guess what? You still have to implement all the things that we're talking about here, because if you don't, you are going to have a lot of muscle loss because you're going to be losing weight pretty quickly. So all of these habits you really have to change for the long term, whether you're on a medication or not. So progress is still progress, even if it feels slow. Tattoo that into your brain. I'm going to repeat it. Progress is still progress even when it feels slow. One thing that I can tell you is my body is a slow changer. It usually takes me months of consistency and really dedicating my time and my energy to see changes in my body, right? And I know it's also because I'm already in like pretty good shape, but we always can get better. We can always improve things. We can always get a little bit stronger, right? And so, don't beat yourself up if things are happening slowly. Just remind yourself that they are happening. And the last thing I want to remind you is belly fat is not just about annoying belly fat. I know sometimes when we feel puffy or we feel fluffy or we feel like our pants aren't fitting the way that we want them to, all of those things, this matters more than just from a vanity perspective, right? If we are having an increase in belly fat and it sometimes feels like it happens overnight in perimenopause or menopause, that's your body giving you a signal, telling you, hey, things aren't working the way they used to. So it means that your hormones are changing, your diet and nutrition has shifted, your fitness level possibly has been changing. So you've got to just thank your body for the message. And belly fat isn't something that you want to take lightly. If you are noticing that all of a sudden you have a lot of belly fat, that might mean that you've already created some visceral fat in your belly, and that could be the start of something like type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, heart challenges, health challenges, and none of us want that. So I really want you to take a good look at your body and your strength and make good, consistent choices so that you're looking and feeling your best. At the end of the day, we all want longevity. We want health. We want to feel strong. We want to show up as the best version of ourselves. Yes, looking good in a bathing suit is a huge, huge perk, but really at the end of the day, and especially at this age and stage of my life at least, I know that I am just so much more committed to my longevity. I want to be around and be healthy for my kid and my family, and I just want to, be able to show up for you in the way that I want to. And that makes making good choices a heck of a lot easier than thinking I'm just doing it for me or for like bikini season, if that makes sense. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I created Total Body Transformation, my fitness membership and community. If you are over 40 and you want results, you don't want to spend hours in the gym, and you really want something that works for your life and your lifestyle, TBT is it. So I actually do have a special, don't tell anyone, discount and savings just for you, my YouTube community. So definitely check that out. We will leave it linked down below in the description box for you to check it out if you want to join us. So that's what I have for you. You are awesome. You are amazing. And like I said, if you want to check out MTE, everything will be linked down below in the description box. And if you want to keep hanging with me here on YouTube, check out this video next. I'll see you there.